Hey, happy Saturday. It's January 4th, 2025. I love the weather. It's really nice and it's kind of chilly out today. So for the past 4 or 5 months, I've been drinking my coffee without any cream. And for the past month or two, month and a half or so, I've been trying to cut back on the refined sugar as well. I'm noticing that I've had some trouble with dairy, and I learned that that's common for people who have gluten sensitivities. So I've cut way back on my dairy, and I've also noticed that I'm a bit sensitive to sugar. So I've cut back on refined sugar too. So I've been drinking my coffee for a while now with just a little bit of coconut sugar. I used to love to have my coffee with raw sugar and a little bit of half and half. In the past, I would drink my coffee black with no sugar from time to time, especially with my history of doing overnight work at hotels as a night auditor. I learned how to drink my coffee black. I could drink my coffee anyway as long as I had the coffee. So how are y'all doing today? How are y'all handling all these changes that we have going on right now in the world? What are some new habits that you're creating for yourself? I'm enjoying spending a lot more time outside and getting sun and like putting my bare feet on the ground. I'm noticing that that's been very beneficial for me. Just a few minutes ago, I got a really nice picture of the moon. It's a beautiful, like, sliver waxing moon right now. It's gorgeous. You can see it right in the daylight, clear blue sky. I wasn't really expecting the moon to be up there. I was really trying to catch some footage of a jet that went flying directly over my head. And as I was filming it, the jet flew like directly into where the moon is, right in the middle of the clear blue sky. It was really spectacular. I'll show you a picture of it later. So today is Saturday, January 4th, 2025. And just at that moment, I see 25 on my timer here. So 25 is 5 squared, or 5 times 5. One of the most common interpretations for the number 5 is imbalance or crisis or opportunity for something to be corrected. But 5 is also a learning opportunity. And 5 also is attributed with like changes and especially unexpected changes. The number 5 can signify dynamics or a dynamic situation. It can signify unpredictability. I think of someone who keeps up with trends, trendy, stylish, adventurous, daring. So when we add up 1 for January and then 4 for the 4th day of the month, that gives us 5. So just the month and the day gives us a pure 5. So there's a really strong energy here of dynamism, changes, fluctuations. The word originality is coming out. The word reflex, like feeling reflexive. For those of you who have really invested a lot of time in if you've invested a lot of time in understanding this new higher vibration, training yourself, allowing yourself to get acclimated to this energy, the abundance of these energies. As you begin to hold more light, you're handling this light, and now I'm thinking of like what would happen if there was a flash flood. All of this water coming down from the sky. It's coming down faster than the earth can absorb it. And when that happens, there's so much water, it becomes destructive. Instead of just a nice, slow, steady rain that can soak into the earth, it piles up on top of the ground and starts to flow, and it flows so fast that it knocks things over, causes a lot of destruction. The influx of energy that we had was spread out over the year, and it started slower, and then it just gradually picked up the pace, picked up the intensity to allow us time to know how to absorb it. It's like if you're familiar with pharmaceuticals, or if the doctor has ever given you, if you've ever taken a medication that the doctor prescribed to you, the first time that you take this new medication, it's very common to have the side effects because your body is trying to understand this new compound, this new medication. It's trying to understand it, how it works, how to use it. It really is trying to make sense of what it is. And a lot of times when you do that, there can be some initial side effects. But as the body learns to recognize it and understand what it's doing, what it's good for, it eventually won't reject it. At least that's the theory. I could have used a better analogy than that, but it was the one that came up, so it's that analogy is useful to someone. This light, this new light, this higher frequency that has been pouring onto our planet gradually, it's been pouring on at a pace to allow us to get used to what it is. We've been receiving it at a pace that allows us to acclimate to it and to learn how to use it. The usefulness of this light is in conjunction with your unique energies of your expression. Your energetic expression, you can actually see a visual idea of what it is when you look at the numerology of your birth name and your birth date. When you look at your name, your birth name, you can break it down into the personalities, which is your personality is really how you come across to others. It's the way you express yourself in your body language, the way you move through life, your style. That would be the personality, and you can find that in the consonants of your name. Then also the soul. your soul, your soul's urge. What are your motivations for the way that you move through life? It's a more intimate aspect of you. You can see that in the vowels of your name. Your life's purpose or your life path, you can see a really strong idea of what your life path is by adding up the month and the day and the year of your birth. So your life path number can be ascertained from your birth date, and the life path really, it helps you to understand your purpose in this lifetime, the reason you came to earth this time, the assignment that you chose, and this soul contract. What assignment did you agree to in this soul contract? That can be ascertained by adding up the month, the day, and the year of your birth date. And you can get more of an idea of why you chose this body, certain aspects of your personality, and then also your motivations that make up your entire energetic expression. Your energetic expression is made up of the consonants and the vowels of your name. And together, that describes the way in which you move through life and your motivations in order to fulfill that soul contract or that life purpose or life path that is ascertained by the month, the day, and the year of your birth date. I'm kind of rambling on, and as I ramble on, I reel myself back in by looking at today's date. As you study numerology, you'll realize that life isn't so random after all. There is a rhyme and reason to everything that you do, but you'll find that it's easier to see it when you back away from, when you step away and look at your life and everything around your life from a little bit of a distance as an observer, looking at your life as the observer. Sometimes things seem more chaotic than they really are because we're standing too close to the situation in order to see it objectively. When you're standing so close, it's really hard to get a good context on what's going on because you don't see the bigger picture. You really are not seeing the forest for the trees. And that's the beauty of numerology, because numerology allows you to be able to, numerology is like a shorthand. And it's a shorthand that allows you to map out or diagram of where you stand in the whole picture of your circumstances. So when I look at January 4th, I see a 1 and a 4, and 1 is initiation or taking action, and 4 is control or creating structure or order. So it literally tells me when I read it from left to right, taking control, taking the reins, taking charge of your life, moving forward with the plan, and 2025, when you add up the 20 and the 25 together, you get 45. And again, you are taking control of your life in order to, it's like you're closing out an old era. You're ushering in a new era, and you're standing right at the edge of a new frontier. You're being a pioneer in new territory in your life. And so this 5 energy that we see in the middle of what I call the tic-tac-toe chart, I'm going to come up with another name for it. It's kind of cute, tic-tac-toe chart, but that 5 energy is about it's daring, taking a chance, stepping out into the unknown. It's because you realize that unknown, there actually is something that you know about it. You know that there is opportunity there. You understand that even though it's unknown, you can make it work for you, and you can make it work for the greater good. So for this whole month of January 2025, when you factor in the month number and the sum of the year, 9, the overall vibration of every day is going to be 1 more than the actual day of the month. So for instance, today is January 4th. So when you factor in the month number and the year number, it's a vibration of 5. So to be more specific about that, January 4th is 1 plus 4, and then 2025, if we were to break it down into two-digit numbers, it would be 45 plus 5, so that would be 50. So you could do it that way, the long way, or you could say January 4th, 1 plus 4 plus 9 for 2025. So that would actually be 14. So 14, which also sums to 5. Mm-hmm. Summing this up all 3 ways, today's numerology is 50, 14, and 5. But ultimately, it's 5. The way you can get 50 is multiply 5 by 10. And we already know that 5 deals with changes, being dynamic, and 10 is mastery. So when I take the 5 energy and multiply it by 10, it's speaking about masterfully navigating your way through changes, dynamic situations. It's a very strong energy of being flexible, resourceful, adventurous, like looking at these opportunities with a sense of wonder and appreciation, almost like going on for some reason I'm thinking of like a skiing trip. I've never gone on a ski trip, but I'm seeing like a ski trip, or mountain climbing, or skydiving, parasailing, going on a cruise, an Alaskan cruise, Mediterranean cruise, just something really adventurous. International travel, volunteering for something that's a little bit risky, that takes you out of your comfort zone, but it's something that will help humanity. Doing something that takes you out of your comfort zone, I'm seeing a vision of like sending the elevator back down, but in order to send the elevator back down, it requires that you take yourself out of your comfort zone. Sometimes achievement can put people in a situation where they are removed from what is happening in the world to most of humanity, as if the privilege their position, their privileged position, could easily create like an isolation or a separation. It's really important to ground yourself, remind yourself the reasons why you created this enterprise in the first place was to be of service to humanity. It's important to always remain grounded. Always remember that in order to reach the altitude that you find yourself, it requires that you stay plugged into the ground, that you always understand, recognize, acknowledge your connection to, dependence on, respect, being part of humanity, being connected to the earth. Do not disregard your connection to Source. Being connected to Source also means that everything that you received comes from Source. So as you achieve, as you receive, give back. Bring the elevator back down. Give back to humanity. Give back to the earth. Give back to animals. Protect the earth. Protect the animals. Use Earth's resources respectfully. Don't be wasteful. Help those who are less fortunate than yourself. Without looking for praise. The whole concept of delayed gratification, it's moot, because being of service to humanity is its own gratification. There's a satisfaction, sense of gratification that is part of the entire process of giving. The scripture that says there is more happiness in giving than there is in receiving, that is true. But you won't understand how much happiness there is in giving until you do it. One of the most satisfying and rewarding experiences that I ever had was to volunteer at homeless shelters. We weren't just feeding people at the homeless shelters, but we were also spending time talking with them, getting to know their story. One of the things that is really hurting humanity right now, people are not giving other people the opportunity to tell their story. We're really quick to judge people, but we are really slow or hesitant or reluctant to hear people's stories. We need to allow people to tell their stories and create opportunities for you to exchange your stories. There is healing in the storytelling. There is healing in sharing your experiences in safe places. We need to understand that everyone has something to offer everyone. even if you don't have money, you have your experience to offer someone. You can offer someone your care, your advice, your love to offer your time, to spend time with another person, to keep someone company, to make someone feel loved or at home, to help someone feel safe. Providing a meal for someone is a great thing. But providing a meal for someone and offering them companionship, time to talk with them and ask them how they're doing, or how's their family, or where they came from, or the things that they enjoy doing, or their dreams, talking about their dreams or their ideas, or even like the things that they may be afraid of, or the things that they hope for the most. These are the things that make us human. It's not our possessions. But when you appreciate people's humanity, when people are appreciated for their humanity, art is the currency of the future. Throughout history, as history has repeated, humanity has come out of periods of intense darkness by way of art. Storytelling lifts people out of darkness. And stories can be told in more ways than just by using words. Stories can be told using pictures or sculpture, food, dancing. Lately, Spirit has been telling me that in this time where we're experiencing so much darkness, a time when a lot of art programs, arts and science programs are being eliminated, when the powers are downplaying the power of art or the necessity of art. Spirit is telling me that it's actually artistry, art, that's going to lift us out of this darkness. It's art that's going to connect humanity to each other again. Throughout history, humankind has always lifted itself out of periods of profound darkness through art, literature, visual arts, music, storytelling, cooking, sharing. It's not enough just to provide monetary assistance to those who need it, or to provide food and shelter and clothing for those who need it. People need an outlet. People need a way to express themselves through art, because art allows a person the opportunity to heal themselves from the inside. Just giving money or food or putting someone in a home, it's a band-aid on the problem. but it doesn't do anything for healing that person. It doesn't provide an opportunity for a person to process through the trauma, the grief, the pain. It's not enough to throw medications at someone who's hurting. People need someone to talk to, someone that will really empathize with them, someone who will allow themselves to really feel, someone who can put themselves in another person's shoes and really feel and understand what someone went through and how they felt about it. Art gives us an opportunity to really see the humanity in others. Some people have a lot of money and some people don't have much money at all. Some people live in big opulent houses and some people live in humble shelters or shacks. But what connects everyone is their story and how they feel about it. No matter how much wealth you have or how much privilege you have, we all have the same capacity for feeling joy and pain, satisfaction and disappointment, excitement and grief. And it's our stories that will connect each other. And no matter where we find ourselves on this continuum, the art is our connection to the heart. Art is the connection to the heart of humanity. Art will always be the connection to the heart of humanity. Art is the currency of the future. I'm also seeing pictures of blueprints. I'm being shown 2030. So there's something about drawing up blueprints for something that will be built by 2030. This is something that will take from now until 2028, really, to gather up enough resources, funds, support in order to begin construction on something in the middle of 2028, 2029, something that will be dedicated in 2030. That's important to someone. This could be something physical, but it could also be something organizational that could assist or support something that's physical. So I'm seeing this year, 2025, and then 4 years later, so 2029, so 2025, 2029. So I'm seeing construction begin on something by January of 2029. But that doesn't mean that the work can't get started now. There are things that can be done now in order to support. I'm seeing a lot about helping people afford a home or something that will support the housing crisis. People that were displaced by this AI revolution, helping people to understand life after this AI revolution, helping people to get retooled in this higher vibration world, helping people to understand life on a more energetic level. I've been hearing from Spirit that numerology, the understanding of numerology, is going to be more and more important from now into the future. Numerology has been important for centuries behind the scenes. And now numerology is going to be more important openly. It's as if numerology is coming out of the shadows and into the light. Numerology has been such a secret for centuries. It's not going to be a secret anymore. I'll be happy to help anyone who wants to learn numerology. If you'd like to know more about your own personal numerology, feel free to send me a message. I'll be happy to help you. I'll provide the link in the notes for this video. The universe speaks the language of numbers. Developing a basic, fundamental understanding of numerology, it will help you understand the energies of every day, any situation you may find yourself in, and it will give you a clue into the best course of action for every situation. And the beauty of numerology is that you can actually plan way ahead of time. It will help you tremendously from now and into the future.